Hi, this is Dr. Dave again, and now we're going to look at doing another technology assignment where we're going to find regression lines and regression curves for the data that we graphed in the first technology assignment. So at this point, your team should have at least one cost graph and at least one demand graph. More likely, you're probably going to have more than one cost graph or maybe more than one demand graph, depending on how many teammates you have. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the cost graph. And the first thing I'm going to do is, since I'm going to use this graph as my starting point, I'm going to go down here, click, and say make a duplicate. So for this next assignment, I'm going to be working with a fresh copy, but I can always go back to what I did from the first technology assignment. So you need to decide what kind of model you're going to do for your data. Your choices are either linear or quadratic, and the same for demand. So I'm going to do a linear here. So I'm going to double click on this and write linear underscore cost graph grazer. So I know that I'm doing the linear for the cost. And then all I have to do is make that happen up here. And to be honest, it's really, really easy. All you have to do is go to one of the data points and double click on it. That's going to go ahead and open your chart editor, and what you're going to notice is within there's a place where it says trend line. This is where you can find a regression curve. So I'm going to go ahead and click on trend line. By default, it's coming up with linear, and the other thing I want to do is I want to show the r squared value, because the closer r squared is to 1, the better the fit. And as a label, I'm going to ask it to use the equation. And now I'm going to shut that, and what you're going to see is there's my line on there. The equation of it is y equals 4.55x plus 5,561, and the r squared value is 0.871. So that's a fairly good fit. So to do a linear one, it's pretty simple. Now let me go ahead and take the demand graph, and on that one I'm going to do a quadratic fit. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate. And so one person's going to do the linear cost, one person's going to do the quadratic cost, there'll be a linear demand, and then a quadratic demand. Amongst your teammates, you guys need to allocate those things so each one of you does at least one of those. So I'm going to make a duplicate here. I'm going to be doing a quad, so I'm going to double click and then say quadratic, or just quad for short, underscore. And so now I know exactly what that person is doing. So go up to one of your data points, double click on it, say trend line. Now instead of linear, we're going to click here and we're going to do a polynomial. And a polynomial of degree 2 is a quadratic. So that's doing exactly what we want. It's choosing our line color for us as red to match up with the data points. I want it to show the r squared and then use the equation again. So here is my line. It's slightly curved, and the formula for it is 4.17. The e minus 6 means times 10 to the minus 6. So this is in scientific notation, where the e part is the times 10. So it's 4.17 times 10 to the negative 6 power x squared plus, well, it says plus minus, so that's minus 0.0229x plus 32.6. So I have the formula for that, and it's a pretty good fit. The r squared value is 0.963. So when your team is done with this, what I should be seeing is a linear cost graph, a quadratic cost graph, a linear demand graph, and a quadratic demand graph. If there's 4 people to a team, each one of you will do one of those 4. Once you're all done, hopefully by the due date, I'll go ahead and look at this thing and make sure that you've done all the pieces correctly. And this one should be pretty quick to do, and most of you should do pretty well on it.